Hello, hi everyone. Welcome back to the Search and Grow podcast. This is the episode number 8, and from the season number 2. And very exciting after a quick month break, and I'm very excited today having a guest. Preeti. But first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for obviously listening. Those who are listening on the podcast version or the ones that are watching on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following. We appreciate you, and we're doing this for you. Thank you. So thank you so much, whoever you are from, and then thanks also to our official sponsor, SEranking, a tool for all in one. You can do things like competitor research analysis. You can do a quick audit. You can run keyword research and do a report, very good for reports and keyword tracking as well. I use it a lot for that, and it's very useful and it's quite affordable as well. So you can try. You can try on the links. We'll share the link to try. And without further ado, hello, Preeti, and welcome to the Search and Grow podcast. Thanks for accepting, for being here today. And
Hi.
I
Thanks for
like to.
having
Exciting, yeah. I'm excited too. So little intro. Preeti Gupta she's an SEO consultant and coach, and she's a founder of Pacted company, consultancy business, and she also has a course on GA4, which is what we're gonna talk about today. So I know lots of people will be freaking out or hating GA4, but today we're gonna talk about this topic and we're gonna help you learn the best from it, from one of the best. So welcome again, and then tell us a little bit about your story and why and how did you get into SEO and what you do right now.
Okay, so hi and thanks for having me. It is such a honor to be on the podcast. And my story is I I took biology in my high school, and I studied biology. And then when I went to the college, I took computer science because that's what everybody told me to do, and that's what I did. And then in my college, I had to write a lot of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code, and I really hated it. I really didn't like it, and so 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 that made me hate HTML a lot, and that's why I thought I will never go in a career that is about HTML, JavaScript. But you know what happened? And in the lockdown, actually, I got very interested in marketing, and I think after researching a bit, I thought I got to know about SEO and how SEO is a great opportunity, and that's how I got into SEO, and I did a lot of courses, probably read hundreds of articles, and like watched a lot of YouTube videos and everything I can to just learn more about SEO. And then I did internships, like 2 internships in total. I tried to do a job, but the job was not very successful. I hated the job. I really didn't like it. So after all of that, I just thought of doing something of my own, and that's when I got the idea of making Pacted as a company, as a website. I started services a little bit late, just 6 months ago. I started offering services, and now I am again. I changed all of it, and yeah, that's all of it.
It's a great story, and you are very young as well. So you have a lot of you have a big career ahead of you. So yeah, you're doing very well. I mean, is hard, to decide to go on your own. And I know, but from my own experience, and it's okay, no problem. But it's really, really tough. I mean, to face that, and people will think, oh, it's very easy to be a consultant. You can make a hell of money, and you can do this and that. Well, I mean, you have to work really hard to get there,
Yeah.
where you want to get, and it's really like responsibility as well, because you have different clients and but I like that you say. I mean, I didn't like coding and HTML and all of that, and but then I go into SEO because I don't have a code. I studied at the beginning also that many years ago HTML and all of that, but then I've never been like really good with coding, and I've been more like the kind of like a strategic, but more the SEO side. So yeah, thanks for sharing the story. So today, obviously, we're gonna focus on GA4, and I like to to talk to you and discuss how you see businesses are adapting and using effectively or not effectively for the businesses. It's been a couple of weeks. Well, I felt like it's been so long since
Yeah.
GA Universal stopped working, but it's been lots of challenges. So how are you seeing the situation and how you experiencing?
I think there is a lot of chaos in the whole SEO and marketing community. Everybody is like panicking a lot, and personally, I like it is so ironical to say that I don't have any experience with the universal analytics because
Good for
from
you.
when
Good for you. That's good for you.
because when I started, I only like when I started with my own site, I only installed GA4, and that's what I have experience with. And I think I don't know why, but a lot of businesses and websites didn't actually move to GA4 until they have announced the deadline that it will go away after a period of time. So I don't know like why they didn't migrate it to it like before, and now everybody is like panicking, and so it is a kind of mixed situation. Everybody is hating it. Like I don't know why. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it depends on the culture as well. I mean, I work with
Mm-hmm.
clients, Spanish and British, and some have been very organized with like, I want to do this, and then okay, let's plan it, let's create. And as you say, some people have planned before; they have everything
Mm-hmm.
set up, they know okay how it works. Some people left it the last minute and are
Mm-hmm.
struggling because they're like, oh my god! But even though, my opinion, I mean, if you allow me to share, I think like sometimes you see like things not working and things like with the switch, and I was like, oh my god, why is not tracking this correctly? Why is it doing that? And then it's giving me a bit of headache. But I believe as anything that changes, and a big change always comes with with the
Yeah.
challenges and the issues. So we will adapt. So you obviously never work with a universal. Well, that's
Wow.
interesting. That's interesting. So in terms of, for example, like this is obviously a podcast for SEO, search engine marketing. What's your advice on main SEO KPIs or for GA4, Analytics 4, or how people should organize their or measure in a way their SEO efforts?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there are a lot of things that you can like measure in GA4, but I would like to start first with conversions, because conversions is something that everybody tracks, and so you can there are standard events in the GA4, and then you can make custom events and then mark them as a conversion. There are the conversions in like GA4 and Universal are different. I can talk about what are the differences in like both, because I have made like a long list that what are the differences in both of these analytics. But if we talk about this thing right now, that while you're tracking conversions, there are events. the one that are made from default, and one that you can custom make them. You can just make the events and then mark them as a conversion. It is a little tricky. It is a little difficult to do, but eventually, like as you said, everybody will adapt to it, and everybody will get to know things. And I think next thing is landing pages. So GA4 actually has reports on landing page that tells you like what are the pages that are performing best and what are the pages that are not performing so good. And you can so like how every business and every campaign tries to focus on some key pages, and then they track the performance of those key pages. So you can track the performance of those pages in the GA4 report, that whether or not your key pages are performing well or not, and you can change a strategy according to that. Next I have is average engagement time. So like how engagement is a very important metric. I think it is a very important metric to measure.
Yeah, it
But
makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, it, maybe it will not make sense for everybody, but I think it will make sense for most of the people. So
Mm.
so basically user engagement is the time of like the time somebody is spending on your website or app, like on your app. So when the app or the web page is in front of the user, that will the amount of time it will be, that will count as user engagement. And you can check that in your reports and see which pages are getting higher or which pages are getting lower engagement than you expected, and then you can work on them to see how we can improve the engagement of these pages. And I think another thing you can check is traffic by location. So let's just say you are targeting US or UK as a country, but you are seeing that a lot of your visitors are coming from different countries that you have not expected. Then you can obviously make your change your international strategy, or make an international SEO strategy if you haven't made one. So traffic by location is like kind of an important metric, because you don't know like where you are getting the traffic from, and the report can really help you. And another can be like users, like how many new users you are getting, and how many active users you have on the website. So I will tell you the difference between both of these, universal and GA4. And
Yeah.
there is a difference between users, in how users are tracked in UA, universal, and how users are tracked in GA4. So you can track how many new users you are getting and how many total number of users you have on your site. So you can see like if at all you are getting new users or not. And the
Yeah.
last thing, I have is referral sources. So like apart from organic traffic, apart from like just from Google or any other search engine, where like where are you getting the traffic from? Let's just say like LinkedIn, or maybe Twitter, or maybe
Yeah.
any other website. So if you are getting a lot of referral traffic, then you can uh, shift your focus a little bit on those platforms, that like you can say like a lot of traffic is coming from Twitter. So I think we should make a strategy for Twitter also, so that we can get even more users from Twitter. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a good list of suggestions. I mean, I'll there's a few of them. I mean, I like to discuss, for instance, obviously the difference between, because that was another question, the difference between universal and GA4, in a way that how to measure users, which in a way could be a bit more efficient, shall we say,
Mm-hmm.
new users. But then
Mm-hmm.
the other thing related to the traffic acquisition and the source of the traffic, how is it getting on? How is improving the direct traffic? Because I know obviously from before. I mean, it's measuring direct traffic, it's measuring organic, it's measuring paid, and obviously there should be a need. I don't know. I'm discussing with you, so for people to understand, there should be a need to set up properly, so you can measure very well, the where the traffic is coming from, as well as tagging your campaigns, and you should still need to tag your campaigns to add UTM tags and to differentiate, so you can track and measure it. So what's your suggestion? People should continue to track and measure campaigns and try to differentiate the traffic, and that's important.
I think if you as you said, I think UTM parameters is the best thing that you can do to track your traffic, because it can happen that sometimes the analytics is not uh, tracking the traffic properly. So if you have the UTM parameters, then the analytics will show you, okay, this is where the users are coming from, and this is where these are all the places the users are coming. So I think UTM parameters is the best thing that you can do if you want to do, and otherwise I think referral is the best thing other than that. So
Yeah, I agree. Good advice. And where can they? And this is something, because you mentioned about the custom events, and I know myself from my own experience, it's a bit of tricky to change from what it was before and to the events now, because you have custom events and personalized events that you can events that you can already use. Where can people find? Is there a place where you can find a list of custom events, and we can share the link later? Is there a place where you can share, where you can find these are the custom events that you can they already set up for GA4?
So if we talk about the default events, the
Yeah,
events
default.
that
Yeah,
yeah. So
sorry,
if we
default.
talk about the default events, the events are listed in the settings, I believe. So if we go into settings and if we check there, uh, it will list all the default events in there. But if you want to make custom events, then you have to there will be an option to make events, like make custom events, and then
Yeah.
you can just go from there and make any event. Like suppose you want to track sign-ups for your phone, anything, then you can just make an event for it, and then there will be an option in the settings that you can mark this event as a conversion.
Yeah.
So you can do all of that in the settings.
Yeah, and that's very useful, because I found the other day, and then I was like, okay, you can use that. So I think it will be useful for people to know that as well. So in terms of reporting, reports, what do you think is the best approach, to use GA4 effectively? I mean, for consultants or for professionals, marketers in general, how is the best way to approach?
Okay, so I think before answering that, I think you forgot to ask about the differences. Like we forgot to talk about the differences in both the analytics and your universal. So should we talk about that?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay,
Talk about
okay.
what are the
So
main differences between Universal and GA4?
okay, I have a long list. So okay, just bear with me. Okay,
Okay.
so the way, even though I don't have a lot of experience with Universal, I can tell you the differences between the both. That the way the data is collected in both these places is very different. So the Universal is session and page view based, but the GA4 is entirely based on events. Events
Yeah.
is the main thing, like the main thing. Okay, and if we talk about scopes in the both of the things, so Universal has like four scopes, as you may know. The it is hit, session, user, and product. While like in GA4, there are like three scopes, and these are user, session, and event. So like so at the first, at the foremost is the user, then is session, and then is event. It
Yes.
is like that hierarchy.
Yes.
Okay. So if we so so there are like differences in how the session page, event page views and users are calculated. So the first thing is users. So the primary metric in universal analytics is total users, as you may know. So it will show as like, it will just show as users, but if you see, it will show you the total number of users on your website. But the primary metric in GA4 is active users, and it is also shown as users. If you see any report, and if there is written users, it will mean active users. So active users, active user is mean that any user that had an engaged session. So an engaged session means that any session that that lasted 10 seconds or longer, or
Yes.
had like one or more conversion events. So like they did some conversion, that you have marked some event as conversion, or they had two or more page or screen views. Screen, like your app, if you have an app, and if they saw two screens, or if they saw two pages on your website, then it will be counted as a engaged session. So the users that are in GA4 talks about active users and not the total users, because
Yeah.
both of these are different. So, and the next is sessions. So in universal analytics, the the timeout for a session is 30 minutes. So if any user is on your website and is not doing anything for 30 minutes, it will stop the session. But in and another thing is that in universal analytics, if the user is on your website when on the midnight, like on the like 12 a.m, sort of like in the midnight, if he is there on the website, then it will start a new session from the midnight, and it will also start a new session if a user clicked on any UTM parameter sort of URL. But
Yeah.
but in GA4, the session limit is 30 minutes only. So it closes the session once there is 30 minutes of no
Yeah.
activity.
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Yeah. So
I think yeah, I like how prioritizing the engagement and people active active users rather than everyone in the same put everyone in the same boat on the same number. I think it's a good idea, to be honest, and I would say that that's a pretty good, interesting. I think it's better approach in a way. So
Yeah, you can say that, because things like bounce rate, like the bounce rate in universal analytics is totally different from bounce rate in GA4. So you cannot say that the bounce rate is same. It is not same. So
yeah, no, not the same.
so like in universal analytics, bounce rate is like the percentage of all the sessions on your site in which users viewed only one page and triggered like only one request to the analytics server. But in GA4, it is totally different. It is like the percentage of sessions that were not engaged sessions. So like GA4 is focusing a lot on engagement.
Yeah. Yeah. The main difference, the engagement, and people will see in the normal reports, they will see a scroll, click. It's all about the engagement and the interaction, right? It's all about the interaction and the engagement with the user, which I kind of like find it very useful in a way. It's painful to change and adapt, and it's I mean, I have to say, I mean, it's been really, really challenging, but I'll say that hopefully for the better for everyone.
Mm,
So hopefully we have people like you, pretty that you can help us and how to manage it better.
yeah,
And I also thank David. David is helping me a lot with the GA4 setups, and he's a machine. So
yeah.
I like to thank him now because it's making my life much better right now. So thanks for
Okay,
that. So
okay.
yeah. Thanks for sharing the differences. I mean, we'll prepare some points that we can share with people. I mean, and the description and a couple of links and all of that, so people can look
Mm-hmm,
back, because I believe it's a lot of information to take in for someone is a marketer or no marketer and they don't understand as much.
mm-hmm,
So it's good to have the information to look always and refer to. So going back to the reporting, in a way,
mm-hmm.
I think how do you approach? How do you approach reporting in GA4 for like consultants, marketers? How do you approach it?
Okay, so I think the best thing is, like, if you look at the GA4 right now, there
Mhm.
are like too many reports, like so many reports for you to look at, and it can get confusing, like which report is more important and what is the data that is more important.
Yes.
So I think the best way you can utilize GA4 for like consultants and professionals like us is to make something like custom reports, and you can just, it will not take a lot, it will not take a lot of time. It will just
Mhm.
take like your like 2 3 hours, and you can make all of these reports your custom reports, and they will really help you, because you will be tracking the data that is important to you. Like suppose you want to track users that are coming from United States, but
Mhm.
they are coming from referral sources and not direct traffic. So if
Mhm.
you have to do this thing, you have to go into the normal reports and then apply filters and do things like that. It will take a lot of time. But if you have to track this thing every day, then you can make custom reports, and then you can just go and look at those reports like every day and see what
Mhm.
is the change and what is going on, you know. So I think
Mhm.
making custom reports is very helpful and useful for people like us.
Yes, 100% agree with you. And you can get lost with looking at, I mean, reports and then report from this is lots of different options there. I mean, it's good to
Yeah.
have to take a look and see, okay, this coming from this data, but then I 100% agree. You have to create custom reports. Any suggestion? There will be resources, I guess, on how to do it. And then, do you use any external tool or resource like Locker Studio or anything that makes your life easy to connect and create reports?
I think the best thing I can suggest to you that
Yes.
I am actually making a course on making custom reports. So
Mhm.
like it is it is so it is easy, but again you have to understand your analytics in better
Mm.
in order to make those reports. So
Yes.
you can always sign up for my course. it is it is
You just dropped
it
it.
is
You just dropped it right there. There is a
yes,
course coming. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Perfectly
yes.
fine. No problem.
So like it's okay even if you don't want to buy course. It's okay. There
Mhm.
there is documentation on the Google Analytics support pages. Like there are
Mhm.
support pages. So there is documentation on how to create custom reports, but they will not tell you how to make exact reports, you know.
Okay.
So like suppose like for like example like we did, like traffic from US coming from referral sources.
Mhm.
They will not tell you how to make this particular report, but they will tell you how to make custom reports. So there is documentation on that. But yeah, if you want to learn how to make
It's very
like
limited
exactly,
yet. So it's not very, yeah, it's very
yeah.
limited yet. So you need to look for the
Mm,
external resources. I guess obviously there are different options out there, including your course, and people can. I mean, my personal experience. I mean, with obviously because I have support, from other people that are helping me to create the custom, so I know now more or less how to create them. Have a lot of to learn still, but I guess obviously, and then using like Locker Studio, then to be able to present it to clients and things like that, because clients,
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to go on GA4 and they see it and it's like, oh, what's this? Uh,
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
some are scared. Some of them have no other choice to,
Mm-hmm.
that getting into using it. But I guess
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's,
I
yeah.
I think if you really don't like GA4, then there are alternatives to GA4 in the market. Like, I don't know, like maybe something
What are the
like,
best alternatives for
I
GA4?
think I think Post Hogue is the one. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name right.
It's okay. It's
I
okay.
think it is Post Hogue, and another one is Hubals. Uh,
Hmm.
Again, I don't know if the pronunciation is correct or not.
It's okay. We'll share. You can share with me the links, and then we share with people. Don't
Yeah,
worry about it.
yeah. I think these two are good alternatives to GA4, and because they, and yeah, Hotjar, like people use Hotjar all the time, but
Hmm.
but Hotjar doesn't give you the data that Google Analytics gives you, so
Yes.
it is
Yes.
kind of different, but it is still useful. Like you can use it if you want to.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. No. I guess it's depends, but most people will end up using uh, analytics, but
Hmm.
then you have other options, and people are building their own
Yeah.
tools as well. Some people are really good with
Wow.
these things. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah. If you are listening to us, or you are, send us your tool, and then we're happy to share it and or to test it as well. So yeah,
Hmm.
I'll take the opportunity to say to people, if they're listening to us, so they can share the tool. I mean, we're happy to test it and try it. So
Hmm.
so the next question is more about what, obviously, besides Google Analytics 4, name what are the main your main SEO, marketing, or business tools that you can't live without.
Okay, so I think the first and the foremost tool is
Mhm.
Google search, because Google search is something that nobody can live without. I think just it is not just search, it is a very powerful tool, because you can do a lot of things with it. Like you can research the content, research your competitors, and like look at how, like user intent and things like that. So I think Google search is very very helpful
Mhm.
as a tool. And the next tool is would be like a website crawler, so anything like Screaming Frog or Sitebulb. I
Mhm.
think these are very good tools to like just analyze the whole site at once, and to see what are the errors and what are the things you know and
Mhm.
uh,
Agree.
the next would be like the Chrome dev tools, like the dev tools you can just use in your
Yes.
Chrome. And
Mhm. The
yeah,
inspector.
I
You mean the inspector, and the console.
yeah, yeah,
You mean
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, console. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those are very like great tools to just audit the website and see different things. And it also has Lighthouse, so you can measure your page
Mhm.
speeds and things like that. And I don't have any other tools, but yeah, I have like extensions, like Chrome extensions that you can
Mhm.
use. So things like SEO Pro extension, like where you can see the page title, the
Mhm.
description, the headings, the redirect status, and everything like that. I think these are the tools that I can't
They are
live
they are
without.
pretty useful tools. I mean, when you say, I like when you say this, it's a Google search, right? Because you can search different
Yeah,
locations, different places, but then because what probably happens to you as well. You need other tools to be able to look at the SERP
yeah.
from different locations. Because I mean,
Hmm.
Manchester, I work with client, for example, in Madrid. I mean, I need to look
Mm-hmm.
from Madrid, so I need to use external tools to be
Yeah.
able to make a search from the location, because as we know, location is very key on, and depending on what you search and where you're searching from, it will show you one thing or the other. But that's the magic
Mm-hmm.
of it. So you need to monitor, look, and you learn a lot from it as well. So brilliant tools. And in terms of Chrome extensions, I mean, we have
Mm-hmm.
loads. So it's like, oh my god, sometimes I have to start removing, because it's like, oh my god, this is too many. It's there are too many, too many. They got my
Exactly.
my my computer is gonna break. It's gonna explode one day.
Like crashed.
So yeah, it's gonna crash exactly. So we're moving into a couple of more personal questions. So
Mm-hmm.
this is up to you, your choice. If you want to share like a book or like a film or something, that someone that inspired you, that's also some entirely up to you, if you have any
Okay.
suggestion.
So like I think like there are a lot of people that inspire me, but I think if I have to like name two or three people, it would be uh, Arij Abu Ali, like the
Mm-hmm.
founder of Tech Women in Tech SEO,
Mm-hmm.
and John Mueller. Like he's a great guy, and again like Modi Oberstein, like head of SEO
Yes,
communications at Wix. Like he's a
yes,
great
yes.
guy. So he like they these guys like really inspire me a lot to do like to try and do new things.
Hmm.
And
Well, we
I
we
don't.
send shout out to them. I mean, for
Yes,
inspiring. And have you
yes.
have you had the chance to meet them, even virtually or in person?
No, I don't. I haven't met any SEO in person, like anybody. So this is so
Well,
sad.
that has to change. So you have to go to a big event, whether it is
Yes,
close to where you live or different country. So that needs to
I
change.
think
But
I think there was like this. I think Google Search Central event that was happening in Indonesia, but
Indonesia.
because it was far away from me. Like everything is far
Yeah,
away. Like I live in India and everything is far away from me.
but you need
So
to try to join at least virtually. Sometimes there are some
yeah.
virtual, not the
Mm-hmm.
same. But then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it will be good for you to connect with other people as well. They could,
Mm-hmm.
virtually an event. I mean, obviously for the distance, I guess it's not easy or cheap for you to travel all the way to Brighton, SEO, or to
Yes, exactly.
Moscow, San Francisco, wherever it is. I understand. But virtually will be good for you. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it will
think.
be definitely good. And
Mm-hmm.
if you have to choose a profession that is not what you do as a consultant, what would you choose? What would you do?
I would choose singing 100%. Yes, exactly.
Why not?
When
Why
I
not?
while when I was in my school and when I was a kid, I really loved singing, and I really like if I was not doing SEO, I would definitely be doing singing. Like
There
really.
you go. You never know. You never know, from SEO to a pop star.
Yes, exactly,
Or
exactly.
both, or both, or both. You can do both.
Yeah,
We can
exactly.
do both. So we approaching, unfortunately, to the end of this nice chat. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
what would you recommend, or where do you recommend people learning about GA4 and SEO? I mean, you could you could give a couple of suggestions. I mean,
Okay, so I think the best place where you can learn GA4 is the Google Analytics Support Center. Like
mhm,
they have like tons and tons of articles, and like
mhm.
I can understand it is a little bit tricky to understand. The language is
Yes.
very hard to understand, but I think it is the best resource to learn GA4. Even I like whatever I have learned in GA4, I learned it from there. Like their support articles are like really great. So I think that is the best resource. And I think apart from that, there are a couple of YouTube channels and
Mhm.
websites where you can learn from. I don't remember any specific ones, but yeah, there are. And of course,
Yeah.
you can always look at my course. Like I have a
Yeah,
course
why
on
not?
GA4.
Why
Yeah,
not? I mean,
exactly.
yeah, definitely. I mean, people like to learn. I mean, you share no knowledge. Happy to
Mm-hmm.
share your link and the other suggestions, the resources and if you know any
Yes.
YouTube channel, we'll be sharing as well
Mm-hmm.
in the description once we publish this unedited. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, where can people find you and reach out to you? Your website, your blog, and yeah, where people can find your nice, good work. Pretty,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, pretty.
Okay, so uh, the best place you can find me is on LinkedIn. I I
Mhm,
create I create almost like daily content on LinkedIn, and you can also like follow me on Mastodon. We sometimes like to have discussions around SEO there,
mhm, yeah,
and obviously like you can also follow me on like my website. I have a blog, and yeah, I think these are the places you can
brilliant,
follow me.
brilliant. We'll share the packed
Facted.
yeah, back to the oh, sorry, dot com. I was going to say
Yeah.
dot com.
Okay.
But will be in the description, and then your
Yes.
LinkedIn as well, so people can follow you, and your Mastodon as well. If you share the link with me, I will happily share with them. And well, it's been great talking to you and chatting to you, getting to know what you do more, sharing some of your knowledge with GA4, and I know some lots of people are gonna appreciate. I'm gonna really find it useful and helpful for them, because at the moment it's challenging for lots of people, but then lots of resources they can go back. And thank you so much, my first guest from you are exactly located in right now.
I live near Delhi in India.
Delhi, Delhi, India.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say India, but I did not know exactly which part. So near Delhi.
Oh,
So my very
yeah.
first guest from India. Thanks. Yeah. So yeah, and the main purpose and goal of this podcast is to make it for everyone's voice, to invite people, guests from around the world, and then getting sharing their knowledge and their stories without having to be people 20 years in the sector, or people so and for me, was the main goal is to give opportunities to people. And I love that you are from there, and then you are participating in my podcast, and I appreciate your time. And yeah, thank you so much. And I like to also thank everyone for listening and watching, and to our main sponsor, SEranking, for the support, the amazing support to make this happen. And thank you so much, Preeti, and have a lovely rest of the week. And we'll obviously stay in touch. And yeah, thank you so much. Take care. Take
Yeah,
care,
thanks
everyone.
for
Thank you.
having me. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye. 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 Bye.